Now for the last essence of nature, but this time I saw no dreams, so I rely on you. It's somewhere in Holodrum. Good luck! This is Legendary Adventures, a Legend of Zelda playthrough podcast. This week in Oracle of Seasons, we're venturing through Holodrum and Subrosia to find the final dungeon, the Sword and Shield Maze. The Maku tree has no direction for us. We must find the final dungeon on our own. Oracle of Ages handled its final dungeon before the finale in a similar way. In that previous game, I decided to explore areas of the map I had not visited yet to find the dungeon, and I stumbled upon it pretty quickly. The strategy for finding the dungeon in Oracle of Seasons is the same. I actually knew where the dungeon was. I previously saw it while exploring, I just couldn't reach it. The dungeon is located in Subrosia in the northwest corner of the underground land. The thing is, we need to take a specific portal to reach that particular portion of the Subrosian map. I hadn't come across that portal yet, so I had to consult the map of Holodrum. There was only one part of the map I had not visited yet in my playthrough. The northern part of the map between Tarm Ruins and the Goron Mountain. This part of the map actually holds two locations. One is Onyx's castle, which we can't enter yet. If we try, a mysterious force will send us back. Just to the east of Onyx's castle is the Temple Grounds. This is where the Temple of Seasons used to sit on the surface before Onyx sunk it underground. Rock's Cape is helpful in reaching the Temple Grounds, but it's not required. It's possible to access the grounds using Pegasus Seeds and Rock's Feather. I did it earlier in my playthrough, I just didn't spend much time exploring that area. We need the ability to change the seasons between winter, fall, and summer in order to fully explore the grounds. At the time when I first entered the Temple Grounds, I had not acquired the fall season yet, and I did not think to return to the area before now. Upon first entering the Temple Grounds, we must change the season to fall in order to cross a field of holes on the west. We then change the season to winter in order to get access to the first of two portals to Subrosia. This portal takes us to just a small part of Subrosia to the south of the three large volcanoes in northern Subrosia. Specifically, we're below the western volcano, and there's a cave underneath it. Inside, we find a Subrosian who's throwing items into a small pool of lava. He's trying to trigger an eruption. We throw bombs into the pool, which makes all three of the northern volcanoes erupt. Fire rains down on the temple grounds, and soon the area is covered in rivers of lava. We return to the surface, change the season to summer, and traverse the lava-filled temple grounds. We have to leap over rivers of lava and use the magnetic glove to cross through a cave in order to reach a door on the northwestern side of the temple grounds. Inside is a second portal to Subrosia. We travel to Subrosia and then ascend to the dungeon. Meanwhile, just outside Horon Village, Zelda emerges from the home that she and Impa have made their base camp. Impa tries to stop Zelda from leaving for her own safety, but Zelda refuses to stay indoors. She rallies the people of Horon Village, urging them to not live in fear and to maintain hope. The dungeon is the Sword and Shield Maze. The music is, in my opinion, the weakest of all the dungeon themes of Oracle of Seasons. It's split into two sections. The A section starts with low stepping notes that give off sort of a carnival haunted house vibe. It then dissolves into an ascending pattern on the high notes. The B section has an almost spacey feel to it. The dungeon has a clear fire and ice theme. We should pick up on this right away. It has the appearance of an angry volcano on the outside, and it's in the depths of the lava-filled Subrosia, but the moment we walk in, we're greeted by a cool, ice-covered dungeon. The dungeon itself is split between two floors. The top floor is shaped like a shield, and the bottom floor like a sword. The top floor is covered in ice, the bottom floor features fire and lava. We start in the shield. From the entrance, we're supposed to head east and shoot a statue with a slingshot to get a key. If we don't do this, we can advance fairly far into the dungeon before having to backtrack. That's the situation I found myself in. After getting the key, we can head north and claim a second one by clearing a room of slime enemies and hardhat beetles by using a steel ball and the magnetic gloves. We spend the key to open a block in the top center of the shield in order to reach a set of stairs that carry us down into the tip of the sword. The open path takes us through a side-scrolling area to the left handguard of the store. We then make our way toward the blade at the center. As we near the center portion where the handguard meets the blade, we find a set of stairs which takes us back up into the shield to get the compass in a room full of spikes. We can then head back down and move to the central blade area of the sword through a locked door. Through the locked door, we find a turnstile. There's a raised area just behind this turnstile which we can traverse to help us move through the turnstile in the direction we want to go. The turnstile first forces us north, but we want to go south. So we just travel west one room on the raised area, jump down, and go through the turnstile again. We can find the map by really pushing into an Armos statue to bring it to life, and then heading upstairs to the south central part of the shield. We can get the map and then use the magnetic glove to put a steel ball onto a switch and extend a bridge. Heading back down and traveling east, we take another set of stairs up to reach that same room but on the other side of a block barrier. This room also contains the dungeon item, the Hyper Slingshot. This slingshot gives us a spread shot. To my memory, this is the first for the series. Crossing the bridge we extended, we head back downstairs, and then pass through the turnstile and head east to get a key. We then backtrack slightly and head to the right handguard to face the mini-boss. The mini-boss is a fire creature known as Fry Polar. It actually changes states between the standard orange burning fire and a cold blue ice-producing flame. I've played through this game once before this playthrough, but I could not remember how to defeat this boss. An owl statue just outside the mini-boss arena gives us this hint. Icy cores make piercing blades. I did have an idea of what that hint meant. Fry Polar will switch between its hot and cold form. In its hot form, it uses flame attacks which spread flames across the floor, and in its cold form it causes large spikes of ice to shoot out of the floor. I thought I would be able to pick up this ice and use it as a weapon with the power bracelet, but that didn't work. What did work was shooting Fry Polar with ember seeds when it was in the cold form. Still, while I seemed to be dealing damage, the fight was taking a long time. So I eventually did turn online to get some help to solve the owl's hint. Turns out we're supposed to hit those spikes of ice created by Fry Polar with mystery seeds. The spikes change shape into a smaller ice crystal. When I hit Fry Polar with one of these crystals, it died, leaving behind a fairy and a portal to the entrance. We head north from the mini-boss room and use our new slingshot to light torches and reveal a staircase back up to the shield. Once up there, we come across a sliding ice block puzzle. It recalls Ocarina of Time's Ice Cavern. We need to push the ice blocks in just the right way to get them into designated spaces on the east side of the room. Getting the blocks into the correct places reveals a set of stairs leading to what is probably the most annoying side-scrolling area of either Oracle of Ages or Oracle of Seasons. We have to make jumps across small blocks of ice. If we fall, which is easy to do because, ice is slippery, we land in the path of blade traps. Really? As if falling weren't annoying enough. The path takes us to the top center area of the shield, and we work our way around to the right side of the shield to find the boss key. We use the magical boomerang to hit a crystal switch and use a pot to keep a floor switch pressed down along the way. After getting the boss key, we backtrack to the ice block room, and then we pass through a locked door to the center of the shield. The center part of the shield holds the most memorable puzzle sequence of the entire dungeon. In fact, it's really kind of the only part of the dungeon I liked. There are 6 rooms and 2 rows in the center. We need to throw 4 ice crystals down to the lower level. We find holes to throw the ice crystals down in each corner room of the cluster of rooms. When we throw the ice crystal down, a pool of lava below will turn into rock. Changing the lava to rock will allow us to reach the boss door. We start with the lower right room where we can pick up a chunk of ice and walk right to the hole. We have to use a minecart to get to the upper left room. We can carry ice while riding the minecart at the same time. We use the same minecart and a rail switch to get to the upper right. Then we have to travel between the floors and use 2 minecarts to reach the lower left room. We will need 2 keys in order to reach all the holes that we throw the ice down, and 1 key to reach the boss. We'll collect 2 of these keys while taking care of the ice and cooling the lava below. The boss is a giant Medusa head. The slingshot is not used in this fight. We just hit her with the sword to deal damage. We need to jump over her attacks to avoid being turned into stone. She fires waves of energy balls and lasers from her eyes. It took me 2 tries to beat this boss, but once she falls, we collect the heart container and the final essence. It's the changing seasons. We're told this essence represents the endless cycle of life. After exiting the dungeon, the Maku tree tells us to return to him, so we'll head there next week. If you want to follow along, please subscribe. And if you're subscribed already and you're following along with this season, thank you. You rock and I really appreciate it. I am Paul Riley, and I will see you next week.